Now I would like to move to the panelist. I would like to come to you, Ms. Nikita Bose, and I would want to understand from you what, according to you, are the opportunities for the startups in our country. You working with the foundation, you have been working with entrepreneurs so much. I'm sure that you would be able to shed some light on what are the opportunities for startups today. Over to you, Nikita Bose.
Thank you, Mr. Chavla, and I am so glad and thrilled to be. I have always been thrilled to be addressing the bunch of students, the budding entrepreneurs that we can say. Is my audio clear? Is it okay?
Absolutely.
Right, right. So when I see around a decade back that we have already been talking about, we as startups, we were already startups by our own selves, and we thought that, oh my god, where to go, what to do. So I want somebody who can give me the presenting rights. I have a small PPT made so that I can briefly elaborate on what I'm trying to say. Can somebody share the presenting rights to me? Yeah, I have it right now. 1 second. So I would just give a brief intro about myself. I had been a seasoned banker for around 12 years, and I started my own firm in the name of Finance Craft Enterprises, not knowing how to deal being an entrepreneur, because I am the first generation entrepreneur of my own family. So when I, as an entrepreneur, started up, I thought that where to go, whom to discuss with. There was no mentor for me. So generation entrepreneurs, and few might be thinking alike with me, that we always moved up with the very primitive method that is called the hit and trial method. Ye try kiya, ye sahi laga, it goes up. If it doesn't work, I'll give a very small example of my own business. I was a banker. I wanted to do something of my own, but I did not. So I thought that let me start with something that I have an expertise with. So I just had expertise with finance. It was there in my blood. So I thought that let me begin with a financial consultancy. So I started selling mutual funds for the first instance. Then 2017 के बाद 18 में there was a bloodbath in the market. And I was like, oh my god, what is happening? The customers are clawing back their money. I was shattered. What is going to happen? Was being an entrepreneur a bad idea? Was it was a wrong decision instead? So I thought that, okay, let us stick to one thing. Let us not move, take a backseat. Let's do one thing. Let's add more products. So if one product is not giving you the proper vintage that we're thinking about, let's add some other things that will cover it up. For example, mutual funds is not a fixed income bearing security. So let us move into something that can give something to the entrepreneur, some kind of a safety, the investor some kind of a safety. So I thought that let's start with adding fixed deposits, then bonds. Then I thought that, okay, adding products is good.
Nikita ma'am, sorry, your slides are not moving, baby. Please see that.
I am
Nikita
not
ma'am.
moving the slide right now. I'm
Okay.
speaking.
Okay.
Is it okay?
Okay.
I am not. I'm moving the slide. I'll begin with, right. So let me just first conclude my story, and then I'll move the slide. Yeah. So I thought that, okay, let us add more products. So I started adding fixed deposits, then bonds. Then I thought that, okay, more products can be added. So I thought, let's add insurance, then investments, then third-party products like credit cards, personal loans, home loans. And now, by the grace of God, it is just like a bank account that we cannot open. All the banking facilities that are available are there with us. Then we have collaborated with a lot of lawyers in the industry, a lot of started accountants in the industry, so that we have a huge bunch of financial bouquet under one roof. So this is how I started my own financial journey. Then I was very much, vocal, and I had been advocating a lot of women entrepreneurs, because women, after being married, anything they want to take up is considered as if they are, doing something for time pass. Nothing like, अरे एक तो boutique खोल ले, या कोई cafe खोल ले, या do something on a part time, कोई catering का service कर ले. So women are not considered serious in their, back in that time when I was there. So now when things have changed, so I have seen the complete contrast of what it has been around a decade back and now what it is. So I'll take you through the opportunities that are available now, and what I can always say that I will begin with is being a startup or being something, trying to do something of your own, always take a lot of guts in your heart. And I always salute, as it was shown in the video, that you are no less than the soldiers of a country. You just don't, settle for the ordinary. You just go ahead, take the risk, and go ahead starting something of your own. So very well, if you are thinking of starting something of your own, the opportunity lies just in front of you. So back in time, it was the same thing that I was telling, where to go. I have an idea, and there were so brilliant ideas, I'm telling you, back in time. And just because of the lack of right mentoring, because of the lack of right support, whom to ask, how to execute, there were so many ideas and they just died because there was nobody to support, right? So present day scenario, now we are discussing with each other. The biggest boon of our times is the internet. We are sitting at one place, we are connecting to the whole world. Like right now, I'm sitting at my place and I'm connecting with the entire audience right now. So it is the biggest thing. And secondly, the biggest boon that I can say is the Startup India, that is the Government of India, the Prime Minister's initiative. And I would request everybody who is looking onto becoming a startup, please go through the website www.startupindia.gov.in. I'll just take you through the snippets of this website. Number one, when they say network, and then participate and access. So when we say network, we have a huge bunch of startups that are there around, what we can say, 50,000 plus startups are there across the all the sectors that are registered with Startup India. Then we have investors who are angel investors, who are venture capitalists, who are registered with Startup India, and they are there to help you out. Then there are mentors like me. There are mentors, a lot of mentors from different spheres, different sectors are there who are registered here. And any startup can easily reach out to them and get help as and when required. And then they are incubators. A lot of universities and colleges are coming out as incubation centers, becoming incubators. So they are able to give a push, like as if you can say a very newly born baby needs to breathe, right? So these incubators, if you have heard that post the baby is delivered, usko incubator mein rakhte. So the startup, usko ekdam se, after just launching, you can just not launch a startup just like that. It's not like an idea aaya and we just begin having a startup. We have to nurture it, we have to nourish it so that it gets to walk on its own, it gets to eat on its own. So that's how incubators are there, where all the mentors, all the financial assistance, all those things are provided within the incubation centers. Then there are accelerators. Accelerators are a group of entrepreneurs. There are centers of excellence that we can say. They are there with that are incubated startups ko jinko wo log chalna sikhate hain. Then we have 30 plus, not exactly 30 plus, there are 64 plus government bodies that are registered with Startup India. In fact, the ministries are registered with Startup India, and you can directly click on, they're just a click away, you can say. You can just click onto them and find out what the schemes are available into what ministry, right? Then we have access. And this is the most amazing thing that Startup India has given to us. We can say there are knowledge banks. You can have an online guide to any kind of business that is available that you are thinking about starting. You don't know what to do about it. That I was asking, that what to do, where to, whom to ask. So this is one thing. You can think about clicking onto the website, search about what business you're having in mind, and then have a very brief idea about the entire thing that you can you're wanting to go about. Then we have partnered services, like a lot of lawyers are registered, legal services are there, banking services are there, cloud and technical services are there. So like IPR that somebody was talking in the previous session, all those services are there. You can get your patents, trademarks, you can get them registered through this website also. Then we have template for every situation. There are a wide variety of templates that are there for customer support, for legal. Then there are a lot of online courses. If you want to get skilled yourself, you want to refresh some skill that you want, or you want to understand a new skill for your for the benefit of your startup. You can learn from this. And there are a lot of contests, a lot of innovation programs that they're happening. You can participate in there and get your startup showcased all to the entire audience. A lot of cash prizes, a lot of subsidies, all those things are awarded into that innovation challenges, right? So that I was telling, a lot of universities and colleges are developing incubation centers. So the very nascent ideas, the new students, the new, like you guys who are listening to us, you don't know where to go, right? You don't know if I have an idea, whom to go and talk to. Like we coming here for one session, but you have n number of ideas. So all these incubation centers are there where these nascent ideas are fed, and they are nurtured and mentored about how to go about it. What are the basic requisites? What is the formulation of the organization to be required? For example, if I want to set up a very basic example, a cafe. So how what the organization formation would be like? It should be a sole proprietorship. It should be a partnership. It should be a company. What is the basic format of the organization that is required for a cafe? So all those questions are answered. Where to go for the funding, which is a very, very tricky and very important aspect of this. Mr. Vishalji, I guess, right? So he was telling me, because I'm not able to see the screen, I'm just seeing my PPT, so I'm sorry if I took the name wrong. The person who is moderating the session, you said that the startups require confidence. Absolutely, it is the most important thing when you go down to a bank or to an angel investor or to a venture capitalist. You present your thing that, okay, this is something I'm going to start. They will not be looking into the PDF, not that PDF that you spoke, that PDF, the Adobe one, but he will look into the confidence, the way you are presenting your, do you have that belief in the product? आपको अपने बच्चे पर confidence है कि नहीं कि वो आगे जाएगा कि नहीं? That is how they invest. And I have been in conversation with a lot of investors, although I am not an investor by myself, but the basic thing that they keep in mind is they would be investing into 10 startups, and they would be keeping in mind that 8 of them would fail, but the 2 of them that would succeed would cover up the losses that the other 8 failed, right? So your confidence is the most important key thing that is required for the startup to go ahead with, right? Then all these things are taught, all these things are nurtured into, imbibed into you as a startup in these incubation centers. And then you are connected with the authorities like accelerators, the funders, the pitch deck. I'm going to go ahead with one second. Yeah. So there are Center of Excellence, the business accelerators, that are group of associations. In fact, I also have been a part of organizations like there is one organization called Confederation of Indian Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises. I was a state chairperson for women entrepreneurs in this. So we used to accelerate all the women entrepreneurs within the state of Uttar Pradesh, and we used to help them, handhold them. And because we were from different fields, so we were able to connect the dots and meet the requirements of each other. However, it was not a very what we can say, an organized thing, but then still it helps a lot of women entrepreneurs to stand up on their own. It did. So I won an award for community development also, and that is how I think the entire startup community should work. And the biggest backbone of the startup community should be networking, that we can say. So you go out, yeah. So we go down and meet a network of people, and we understand each other's needs. And that is the best thing you can go about it, right? Then we have platforms like the contests are there, a lot of challenges are there, pitch deck contests are there. You can present your ideas. These days, a lot of things are going on like this. which back then in the a decade back era, it never used to happen. Now you are given a platform that you can speak about your idea, you can present it, you can show that how it is going to benefit the end user, the end consumer. And when you win an award or when you get rewarded for that, you get a recognition that okay, this is the idea, it won. So you can use that as a vintage thing and propagate your idea, you can promote it as well. And then we have funding opportunities. So when we talk about funding opportunities, the Startup India or we also as mentors say that there are say around 5 stages of funding that are there in the life of a startup. Number 1 is pre-seed. So pre-seed, when we say it is a very, very nascent stage, you also don't know that how it is going to be in the future. We have all the confidence, we have all the resources available, we have done all the thorough research, but certain contingency comes up in the future, like COVID happened, right? Nobody knew that something like this, something like drastic, like something so drastic like this would come down and take away a lot of things from the. It actually had a very, very negative impact on the MSME segment. So when we say pre-seed, we say that you're starting up something. Do not, because you don't have a baggage of previous savings or what we can say of previous revenue, previous sales that has happened into your business, because it is a very, very nascent thing. It is a very newborn baby that you can say it is happening. So when we say pre-seed, as a mentor, I always suggest don't go for any kind of an external lending. Always try to bootstrap yourself. By bootstrapping, I say just borrow money from your family, from your own savings, from your friends. Because when it is a very, very important thing, a very pertinent thing. I always say that when you climb a mountain, it is very important that you just carry a very light bag with you, not all the suitcases, not all the baggages, not all your almiras, dressing tables. No, you carry a very small baggage, very light to climb the mountain with your necessities, right? You don't need to showcase, you don't need to show off in front of people when you're coming up as a startup. Like, okay, I have this lavish office, I have, these many, this huge office, this huge number of staff. But at the end of the day, when you're not able to sustain yourself, all this will come down as a burden on your head. So it is important to keep as light as possible at the very beginning. Just understand, get the feeler, because theoretically चीजें बहुत easy लगती हैं, but जब execution mode पे आता है, then you get the real taste of how it is going to be. That's what things will go fine, but we always have to be on a very, very conservative note, right? So I suggest go for a pre-seed, but if required, but if your business only requires that you want to set up a factory or something, it is not necessary that you have that much of funding available with you or your friends or family. So then you can think about going ahead with, banking needs or any investor you can find out. So then we have this seed stage wherein you can get it from your investors, from the pitching competitions, from some banks also you can go out to. Then we have Series A, when your product has been launched into the market, and then there is a traction of the product or service that is happening with the customers. So you can have the sources like you can apply for a bank loan. You can show it to the bank that this is something we have done in the past, or you can draft a business model through a financial consultant. You can evaluate your business, you can validate your business, you can put it on the paper, something to show that okay, we are doing good. So you can get a bank funding in terms of working capital, in terms of term loans and whatever, right? Then we have Series B and C, wherein when your product has been launched, it is having traction, and then again new customers are coming to, because probably the word of mouth publicity, or or your product is reaching into new depths within the customer space. So other customers are also getting attracted to your product. So this is Series B and C, wherein we can look for private equity firms, we can look for investor firms, then we can look for venture funds. So there is a very basic difference, I'll tell you at this stage, between angel investors and venture capitalists. Angel investor can be anybody. Your own papa can be your angel investor. You know, some angel coming down and investing in your firm, you can just say, just for a, you know, lighter note. But venture capitalists are like, they are doing it on a business purpose. There are firms who invest, and they probably would like to have some, equity rights in your firm or something like that. So you'll have to keep that mind also if you require something like that for the future. Then at the end, you have this IPO, or if things don't work, then exit. But then touch wood, IPO, like Zomato had this IPO, it had a very amazing success story. So all these things are there in terms of funding and the stages, and slowly and gradually you go and you see how it goes in the future. Then with the, when I showed you the Startup India website, we have open networking space with mentors, with incubation centers, with centers of excellence. In fact, with the government bodies also, because as I told you, the ministries are connected into the website. So you can, reach out to the ministries, you can see what schemes they are providing, and there are email IDs, there are contact numbers mentioned over there. You can easily look into that, whatever is suitable, like Ministry of Agriculture is there, Ministry of Renewable Energy is there, Ministry of MSME, all those things are there. You can just, look into the website, all kinds of funding schemes that are available with each ministry is mentioned over there. And then you can, put it down on a global space as well, with the internet, with, Amazon, with the websites like Amazon, Flipkart, and all those things. You can put your products globally. And I think selling products online is also another thing, which is, जैसे कहते हैं ना कि कोई राजस्थान में कोई गुड़िया बनाता है और वो आज पूरी दुनिया खरीद रही है. Something like that is happening, which is very beautiful. Especially in country like India, where it might be a very old thing for people abroad, but in India it was a very, very new thing, and we are appreciating local talents through this. So I think this is a very beautiful thing happening. So when we talk about a startup, the life of a startup, back in then we did not even know what is happening. हम लोग बस अंधेरे में चलते चले आ रहे थे, and then things were happening. Now we have a predefined life of a startup. We say this is the ideation stage. जब दिमाग में idea आया, हम मिले किसी से जाके, we discussed it. We got into a mentoring thing. Then we put it down into the incubation thing, and then acceleration. Then we launched it. And then how it is sustaining its life in the market. So this is how the life has been defined now, which back then was not even was not even in the thoughts, right? So what I always say, this is an era of startups, and when we say this is an era of startups, a lot of brain drain has stopped. पहले क्या होता था, people used to study here and go and settle in abroad. Now people want to study here and settle here with their own industry. Everybody wants to reach the zenith of being an entrepreneur, doing something on their own. So just come and take the advantage. And I being a business mentor with Startup India Wadhwani Foundation, you can always reach out to me with the LinkedIn detail and the email I have mentioned. And I think by this I can come down to the end. And I have been hearing the students who have been talking, and I believe I have been very, very, kept myself on a low scale and spoken very, very basic thing in terms of a startup life, assuming that the students are, they are, they don't know much about it. But yes, I think this is it from my side. And I would love to hear questions, if any. Although I am running slightly late for a meeting, I might take a couple of questions. Yeah.
Thanks, Nikita. What we may do is we may take the questions a little later. Let's finish with the panel discussion. In the meanwhile, somebody's asked for your LinkedIn ID. Maybe you want to put that on the chat box.
So I will put that, and I would probably take an exit, and I would request my lovely audience to please connect with me on LinkedIn. I'm always available. And thank you for being such a kind audience. Thank you.
Thanks, Nikita.